Hi, this is Vicki Romaine with Cheerful Greetings, and I know we all have plenty of scraps, especially white scraps. Now, I have a lot of white scraps because I make cards, and most of my cards have white as the basic card, and then I put color on it. But after a while, you get overloaded with all these scraps, and you hate to throw them away. So let's see what we can do with them. I've got some here that are all different shapes that are not going to do much for me. And if you'll notice, a lot of there are different shades of white. I don't know if you realize it or not, but you have different brands of cardstock are different shades of white. And that is fine as long as you can use the same shade in your project and not mix them up. What I'm doing now is just cutting off some rough edges here. I just want my cardstock to have some sort of shape in which I can use it. And these little pieces that I'm cutting off won't be very good for a card. But the only thing I could use them for is on a mat board or a collage. So what I'm going to do now is basically throw these little scraps away and keep the scraps that I'm cutting off. I'm basically cutting them 1 to 2 inches, even 3 inches wide, and they're different lengths. So let's see what we can do with these pieces of white cardstock after I've cut them off. And I'm just going to skip to what we're going to do rather than let you see me cut cardstock. That's kind of like watching paint dry. Okay, I have a little stack of strips here. They're not all the same length and they're not all the same width, but I did that on purpose because they will go on different projects. Now, the first thing I want to do with these strips is I'm going through them, kind of picking out the ones that I might have cut crooked and put them aside, and I'll trim them up later. What I want to do first is see about coloring them, because I don't want the white. I want to make a colored cardstock. And I'm going to show you 4 different ways that I will do that. And we will start first with the watercolors. First, I will get my brush wet and wet down my papers. Then, as I go through here and pick different colors, and I'll pick colors at random, and I'm just going to put it on my cardstock, just haphazardly. I just want to get some color on it. And after I put one color on, I'll go back and put another color. I have 3 strips here that I will be putting watercolors on. And so we'll just quickly do that, and then I'll go to the next technique. I'm basically going to put 3 colors on each little strip, and I will try not to make them alike. I want them each to be different. Okay, that one is finished. I will probably do approximately 3 strips of each technique, showing you different ways you can color your strips. And then I'll show you what I did with these strips in the next video. So there'll be a video right after this one that will have, I'm not sure of the title yet, but I think it'll be using those white cardstock strips. Okay, this is my third strip, and now I have I have 3 done. As you can tell, that each one looks a little different from the other. I'm going to put my watercolors away, and we'll pull out our next medium that we're going to use for white cardstock. Now I'm going to work with my pastels. I'm going to pick a couple of colors here, and again I will do 3 strips using this medium. The purpose of this video is to show you different things that you can use to color your cardstock, so that that white cardstock scrap can be used for something else. You will notice the strips that have the pastels on them the color is more blended than with the watercolors. But each one will have its place when the time comes, because there are occasions you want a blended piece, and then there'll be occasions when you want very bright, brilliant colors and that stand out. And here's my third piece, and I like the way these are blended out, and in any case it changed the appearance of my cardstock. Okay, let's go with our third medium, and I'm going to put me out 3 strips here. This time I'm going to use my distressed ink, and I'm going to be using a dauber to put it on. I started to use the ink pad and decided I'd go with the dauber. Now, I'm not making this an even coloring because I want it kind of the color to fade in and out. And also, you'll notice on my second and third piece of cardstock that it will have a ring or 2 of the blue, and I did that on purpose because I want a little variation in those pieces. This time I'm going to use tea-dye distressed ink, and here's what it looks like. Well, now I have made strips using the watercolors, the pastels, and the distressed inks, and I have one more that I want to use, and that is some Copic pens. Now this will be real dark coloring. I'm not worried too much about the blending. I just want to get some color on my pieces of cardstock. So, and that's what I have done. Here are all the strips I've made. I've made 12 strips here. 3 with watercolor, 3 with pastel, 3 with distressed inks, and 3 with Copics. And you can tell that each one has its own personality. Now I want to do some more decorating on my cardstock strips. I will let you watch as I decide what to put on the different strips. I'll be stamping. I'll be adding designer paper to them. I'll be using some commercial borders. I'll be using some buttons. And of course, I'll be using some my Memento ink here because I want the stamping to show up, especially if I do it on some of the darker pieces. I'm putting a piece of white cardstock that's kind of a scrap itself, and I'm going to use it underneath my decorative pieces because I'll be stamping some off of the strip itself, and I don't want the ink to go on my desk. So letting that pick up the extra print. You will notice that as I make different changes to these pieces, that they will really become interesting. Here I'm putting another kind of border on of little leaves, and that color in the background doesn't look quite as gaudy as it did earlier. So it's quite an improvement. And some of these patterns will end up looking really sharp on the things I'm going to make. And don't forget to come back and see me on that next tutorial because I'll be using these little strips for something that's going to go in my junk journal. Now I have a piece of die cut. It came with a stickiness on the back. I plan to put it on one of them. And then here's some designer paper that will look perfect on that blue strip. What I am doing is just pulling out odds and ends that I have, and I'm going to see if they will work. I'm just, I have nothing really planned. I'm just looking to see what I have here on my desk. And I've got some other pieces that I've colored previously. So now that I've picked out a few things, let's go ahead and adhere them to my white cardstock. I like this little brown designer paper. It will look cute on one of the strips. Here are my strips that I'm decorating. Some of them will be finished. Others will not be finished until they are placed on the things that I'm making in the next video. So in order to see what I plan to do with them, you need to come back and see me next time with my next video. It'll be number 220. The title of my next video will be Using My Colored White Strips in Junk Journals. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please come back and see me and see what I am going to do with these strips. In the meantime, have a great crafting day and grab up all your little white strips and color them and be ready to put them to some use in the next video. I hope to see you then. In the meantime, don't forget, please subscribe. Bye.